be the food enough for the witty, and when enough to find the more, the scan to find the waiver. Was answered enough of freedom and the privacy, and you can find the harnessing of a chain. For the breath of life is yours, the sunlight for the hands of this and the wind, for the sum of the wave you can find the northern who has woven the clothes to where I can find the shame to torn. Illume, softening this, but the thread, and if so there be the modesty for this is shield for the eye of the unclean. And why the unclean should be no more, for this the modesty for the fetter, for the only defiling of the mind, for the forget that, for the earth with the delights and feel the all that you bear to feel the winds of this alone to play with your hair. Bestow something of a platform for you. That woman who has had that babe begins to that for the singing and speak of us to the children, for the not the children, they are the sons of the daughter, for the longing of herself, for the coming through you, for this to be the all that they are, for the belonging not to you, for the give them to your love and your thoughts and this to have their own. The bodies of the soul, for the house of tomorrow, but you cannot visit for the even your dreams. Not make them like you, for enough to be the strive to be for you, them to like you, for the back roof, for the tarry, you with the yesterday, for the you are the brows, and this for the children, the living, or the arrow, and the sent forth, and you can find an archer, the seat there, for the marking your both path, and this to find an infinite, for the bends to you with the might. Arrows meant you may go swooping far enough. Let your bending hands be for the gladness, for he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow at the stable. You find out a reference to you, crying out for what's needed for the desire. None but God for the stillest hour of the night, for this to be delayed for half asleep, for this the seven selves sat together, for the listen, converse, and whisper, for this to be the him, mad for the madman, for the dwelling inside after the year, for the not to be the word to renew his pain, for the not to recate his sorrow by the night, but I can bear no fate no longer, but now I can prevail. Yours is better than mine, and this is mine, and find a brother for this given to me. Strangers to the dark, do all the things because I live in them. And if destiny should be in my hands and prevent me from doing, death would be my only desire. For I am a poet and I cannot grieve, and I cannot give and I shall refuse to receive. Humanity rages like a tempest, but I sigh in silence for this to know the storm must pass away before the sigh goes to God. Humankind so clean to clear the things that is to find a seeking and embrace to torture this to love so remain for all to be the soul. Humankind is to stand to things and find the dead and without a man to suffer and the love that awakens. Live in the pain, humans divided into those different clans and trying to tribes, this belonging to the countries and towns, but I find myself strange to all communities. Belong to no settlement. The universe be my country and the human family is my tribe. Although the man are weak, said that they divide themselves amongst that for the narrow and the unwise to cleave itself to the kingdoms and the empire for the province. To themselves find and destroy the temples of the soul. They join hands to build edifices against the earthly bodies. Stand alone, listen to the voice of hope in my deep, saying enough of the end, inviting yourself to the man in the heart with the pain. The ignorance that teaches them for the way for the knowledge and the pain is the ignorance that lead yourself to the great joy and the knowledge because the supreme being has created none with under the being under the sun. For this is the yearning for the beautiful country. I love that for the people with it behind the mystery. Stimulated for the plunder, for the motivated by the late and find the patriotic spirit to find the murder. Invaded by the neighbors. Upon the committing of the human atrocity, to find the hate beyond my people for my country. Let's find the singing of the praise and that to find the birthplace that belong to see the home of my children. Because the people in that home refuse to shelter to feed them, need for the wayfarer to convert themselves to praise and the anger for the longing to forgetfulness, and the inner voice will say, this house is not comfort and need and worthy of not my destruction. The native village is the sum of my love for the country. Part of my love for the earth in which is defined a country for this earth and all myself because it has the humanity, but to manifest the spirit of God for this to be the supreme being on earth that humanity is standing among us. The ruin, hidden in its nakedness behind the litter rage, just the tatter for the rags and shedding in the tears upon the hollow cheeks, and just the calling for the children, but the pitiful voice. The children are being busy singing their own anthem, and this will be the sharpening of the swords that cannot hear the cry of their mothers. Humanity appeals to its population and people for the listening. We're not to listen to the consoling of the mother, but wiping of the tears and nothing to say they're weak for this by the sentiment. People who ridicule themselves for such teaching and find Jesus who listen. Crucifixion was this a lie, for this of Socrates who heard the voices also follow, for the failed the victim for the follower who uses violence. Indeed, since the people were not to ride them, ridicule a bit more than killing. Jerusalem couldn't kill. The living, to triumph over the followers of the deity. Grow forever for the brother who is now but I'm a human, for this to be the both the sons and the Holy Spirit is for one, for this to be made for the same earth and the earth. My companion for them all on that path, and I can find understanding for the most hidden. The fact that all is suffer for the brother. You may seek the that for the choice, and to choose that for the tomorrow, to take away from what you lose at heaven is for the judgment, and you can find the receiving your justice, and you find your pride moving or whatever. Greed, instigated for the maze. I'm sitting well for the entitled to the lies, for the love I will satisfy you. You may have the tied hands of this chains to beat the shackles, to put myself in the dark prison of who can find the shell of the night and slave my thinking for the free, for the breeze and to find the spacious sky. It's the divine thing. It's the deed of the spirit. Shall meet my truth in the coming in the world, for the blending together, for the fragrance of the flowers becoming one, for the whole eternal truth that perpetuating the living in eternity, for the love and the beauty. Although you seek the garments in your clothes, much of your beauty for the hiding it. Enough of the witty and win, and after to find the more, the scan to find a waiver. Was answered enough of the freedom of the privacy, and you can find the harnessing of a chain. For the breath of life is yours, the sunlight for the hands of this and the wind, for the sum of the wave you can find the northern who has woven the clothes to where I can find the shame to torn. A loom, softening this of the thread, and this to be the modesty, for this is shield for the eye of the unclean. Unclean should be no more, for this the modesty, for the fetter, for the only defiling of the mind, for the forget that, for the earth, for the delights and feel the alt you bear, to feel the winds, and this alone to play with your hair. The stove was something of a platform for you. That woman who has had that babe begins to that, for the singing and speak of us to the children, for the not the children, they are the sons of the daughter, for the longing of herself, for the coming through you, for this to be the own that thereof, for the belonging not to you, for to give them to your love and your thoughts, and this to have their own. Bodies of the soul for the house of tomorrow, but you cannot visit for the even your dreams. I make them like you for enough to be the strive to be for you, them to like you for the backward, for the Tari, you with the yesterday, for the you at the brows, and this for the children the living for the arrow and the sent forth, and you can find the archer to see there for the marking and pull the path, and this to find the infinite for the bends, and you with the might. Arrows meant you may go swooping far enough. Let your bending hands be for the gladness, for he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. You find that in reference to you. They're crying out for what's needed for the desire. None but God for the stillest hour of the night, for this to be delayed for half asleep, for this the seven selves that sat together, for the distant conversing whisper, for this to be the him, man, for the madman, for the dwelling inside that for the year, for the not to be the word to renew his pain, for not to recate his sorrow by the knife, and I can bear no fate no longer, for now I can rebel. Yours is better than mine, and this is mine, and find a brother for this is given to me. Madness and joyous and love, and the laugh of the laughter, the singing, the happy hours. So this would be the run to range, this to feel the dancing, brighter thoughts, and it would be the rebel against the weary existence. For this to be what I am, for the love of the written myself, for the flaming and brand, for the wild passion. I belong not to you to give them for your love, but not for your thoughts. So this to have their own, for this the body, for the feeling, the soul, so this to fly. With your feet on the ground. This is to love. heart in your sleeve. Exchange your love with kindly gestures that leads to some breeze and to others that have hunger for the seeds of the fields of the vineyards that meet the weavers. The weavers that bind the potters and gathers the spices as you can suffer not for the hand for the bearing and taking that for the transactions and you can put still the words for labor. For the master spirit shall be sleep peaceful and word, and to the wind, and to the need, and the least you are satisfied. Now I rise. For the gram in the face of society, for the Disney and clamor of your city, for the directive, for the weary of the step, for this is spacious alley, enough of the I can pursue your beckoning of the course, so this will be a rivulet for the musical sounds of Houston birds, and this until I reach the lonely spot for the flowing branches and trees that prevented yourself for the sun, for the testing of the earth, and I can stay there. Eternity in my soul. The thirsty soul's been not for this to be mirage, and instead of that for the love and guidance and sweetness. It was engrossed deeply in thought for the spirit that was settling and permanent, for the hour, for the wearing of the spring, and the grapevine that covered the part of the naked body, for the breathing of the poppies and where the girl and head or not for this to realize astonishing nothing to be saying if I fear me. And then for the jungle, for the beauty of this beauty committed for the place that this will tell me who you are, for the where you come from, for this to sat gracefully upon the green grass and respond to your symbol of nature. Forefathers worship my honor for this day erected for the shrines and temples of this to be the dare to say for this to be the dare for the earthling for the camaraderie for the goddess of this to be the goddess and to save themselves for the pit for the forgotten pages of your book in history and you can find that reply for this to be the love of the worshiping of the dead and their deaths and there's finding their eternal life in the infinite sustained by the word and the beauty for what you will and never for the rest of your eyes and beauty for the nature itself and this to becoming a shepherd joy among the hills and the villages to be happiness in the field for the pleasure for the all for the beauty tribes in between the mountains and plains. Sight for the heaven, the source of spiritual peace, and this is spiritual enough for the fear of the nature for the haven, or the rest and the tranquility for the year of God, that this will be the fear of goodness and accuse of him and the anger, for he is the full of love and mercy, and this is find a deep satisfaction to mingle with the sweet dreams. Speak to me, and I beauty which people interpret it for the define enough for the according to only conception, this is seen for the honor whisper, the different ways and the manners, so that this is wine the ways and attract your soul for the love that's been given you all to receive. You to meet the beauty for the feeling in your hands and deep inside your inner self and stretch that forth to this to find a demand in your heart for the magnificence and you can find a combination for the mule and what you hear the holy hollies and this will be the beginning of yourself for the end vast beyond your earthly imagination this will be the jungle approach that for the sin. Hands upon the eyes and you can withdraw. Found me alone in the valley when I returned to those cities to find turbulence and no longer vexed and this to find a repeated other words. Beauties in which attracts your soul for which the love can I give you to receive. I'm none but the one to be seeking the reflection of my Father for the ways you came to guide and speak the night for the step for the beauty where I could find the injured and enough for the beauty be the gentle place where I could find the might tread. Soft whispering and speaking that spirit. And watchmen will say that after the scene, the leaning over the earth for the windows of the sunset. And beauty is not for the need, but an ecstasy for the mouth and thirsting enough for the empty stretch forth for the hand, for the heart, for the inflaming enough for the soul to be enchanted, for the imagine you will see the song that you will no longer hear, for this to be the closing your eyes, the song you could see, the find and shut your ears enough for the find empty, gazing upon yourself in the mirror with the eternity. But if I could show you, you wouldn't believe me, right? In the stillness of the night for the wisdom came and stood near my mind and find and gaze that this is spirit to come forth and this to find to show you all the ways of the truth and hopes and thoughts passed by the doves and the flight for the words composed to desire by the song and delight for the word you are for the conclusion your grievous and your joy and embrace that for the spirit that envelope my heart for this to be the eyes and look to see upon my depths and this to flee for the souls and voice mourning for the days and enchanting in the littleness and where are they? What are they? Mock to die for the longing, forgetfulness of yesterday for the deeds and the rejoicing, your own for the things of the moment for the scorn for the morrows and coming. And what is that for the world to lead me for the wither I know for the standing in the despise and not for the earth for this to open up its mouth wide enough to swallow the bodies and let them know over evil things that dwell in the side of the breast of this is where the creature to satisfy itself for the love of the fortune. Beyond that for the dust despite for them for the mean the pleasure for the not the minute for the year for this the rare or the folly for the seed the darkness and the wisdom for the manner of things and who are they for this is eyes of God for this is see that for the secrets of the hair for the over I can find and what's thinking of the truth of the feet and the height and the following it but what you can find in place of this should find and be above the flowers behold that eagle swooping down and I pray for you can go to your neighbors and neighbor's house and you can find out seeing and I can find a child blinking at the firelight for the mother for the busy enough for the household and rejoicing in your fire. Fight light this the head for the mother's affair, but you can see the eyes that was at your sake. Between you and your brother, but you can find the griefs and the joys, and this is see the past and new and scattered enough for the field for the spirit to be reaped by the future. For then you can find a place and that desire, but to open the door for your heart to them to enter the light for the earth, and have her open a mouth and statement for the spirit. For them, these you hear the heart for this is all you have to think of the world. For the creature for whom you see is ignorant enough, but the smallest the same you come from for the God's side to lean the pity for the sadness and the knowledge by your way of the darkness. And bring the life of the wisdom for the hand of the burning brow that is confined and forward enough for the terror. Beyond and walk in the perfection and never have it to fear of the thorns. And this is the path of death to define the demon and awful enough for the lawful to seem corrupted for the blood and you got. As I exchange for the sorrows of the heart, for the tears of the sadness that make me flow, for every time I bark and find a part of laughter, for the tear and the smile, for the purified miles, understanding for the secrets of the hidden things, and you can wretched the people, the embracing of the longing for the mornings approaching, not to open the lips to meet the sun's kiss. And when I look at her, and when I think of who, and if you were to forget me so, I want you to know one thing. This, if I look at the crystal moon and the scene there, red branch of the slope for the autumn and the winter for the mantle, for the I can touch it near the fire for the impeccable of an ash, and you can ring of the body for the law. Everything that carries me into the existence for the aromas and light for the metals of the little, the bolt for the cell, for the death for the towards the ounce that you can wait for me for the well now. Little by the style, you loving me for the never to live for the stop loving me for the I should never stop loving you, but a little for the never to done for the suddenly for the you can for me and you I can find it forever, getting forgotten, smitten enough for the think you could along, waiting for the banner for the you can have that for the only depend. Nick, yo, for the better you passing of your life for the deciding. Whether or not you want to go to shore that day for this hours of the ship, lift my arms and now they'll be the roots and we'll set off and seek another land. And I can find out for the reaching of a self for what you desire from me. Implacable sweetness and after each day for the flower to climbing up to your lips to seek me for the oh my love, and this will be the repeating and the fire is repeated for nothing else indistinguishable forgotten, but the love of the feast on your love will be loved for you can have that for the woods of all your arms and without leaving my I can be with you in kingdom and dreams and hold fast to that for dreams to find a broken winged bird that can't fly for the hold the fast of dreams for dreams to go through the love of the bear in the field for the frozen like the snow for you can find that for the I will know for the April rain the song. As I grew older enough, I too, for this to pace the time for the long to go, for the forgotten my dream, and enough for the brightening like the sun, for the roses slowly you find it between my dream, for the rose that touch the sky, enough for the shadow, for I'm black enough for the down, the light for the dream before me, for the thick wall, for the shadow, for the hands, and I can find that dream and shatter my darkness, and you can have the thousands of lights of sun, rolling in the dreams of light. You still understand you don't need to fight. Love will prevail. All circumstances we are to break for the shadow of the darkness to smash into the night for the breaking of the shadow for the thousands of lights of sun that you can find a whirling of dreams and all to hold the sun shining, all the bright to the future that lasts forever never paling and failing. Enough for the reaching of what you can find exceptions of. My love for what is love, or this to find a cold to bear, the hard to find, the sadness and the long despair, the death of the more, the land to bear, to see the coming of it, what you can see to depart. And I'm blessed to love you, and I'm blessed for my trials. And I love you foremost and toward to find inspiration, the kindness and utmost, and just to find the providing a motivation, to giving me support for helping to ease the frustration, the friendly support, comfort, frozen by the beauty for the melting for your touch, and just the arms and I can love so much, and this is one to hold most dear. And dedicated that for you, my love, my joy, for giving me the life, for the weight, for the love, for this to be the weight for the love you never had to put on the scale, for the motion that you could never equal, enough of the truth, enough of the seem like the letter for the counting you can make it on the news, a headline. It was there if I knew it esoterically for the consider that for the love of the patient and kind enough to be pompous enough to bump up for you, but to be rude enough for the seeking and rejoicing, not the wrong in doing it, find it royce and true. Bear all things just because of hope. Endure all things and never fail. You soon learn the density of the love is so much in all of those scales that have to heat with the great volumes of hate. It's captivated for the mirror measures of love itself, but this to touch and strengthen that for the banner, for the one that feels so for the weight. Translate. My love, I'm crying for you. Tears of sorrow for you. Charles submitting this is sorrow. I find a shower submitting when the promises made. And this is working in ways itself until I'm going for the crime because I love my turn blue. Heaven stolen from me and left the memories and lift the soul to find a banish in the sky for me to left to die for. I combine the angels so much in love for it. I ask them for to make the souls be happy until I come back. And this is me because you could turn blue to enough for the cry. And the saddest of innocent love has become the end of the story of my heart fighting against raw pain. Because my love turned blue. Melancholy for the bird sings that I love you in my window. Autumn sun is enough for the twittering of the two, for the sweet parades of fondness and the delight, for this to be the iterant I can find a caressing of my soul, for the customers of the true, for the distant heart and the sense of that, for the senses of the not, for the this to be the sure, for the little speech and I can find a doubt, for question this to be unsought, for the trust I would give, and a smile like love of metaphors. Love is painting colors and shades and bleeding hearts and hope, the sharp blaze, a never-ending story. It always began with the kiss of the space and everlasting for the bitterness and bliss. And love is like the circle of eternity for the waiting to take there for free. For the love is that open door to clear a pool, and that for what you hate you never swim. Captured to the sunset for the weather warm never grows dim, and enough of this to be the held in the eye, but spread quickly to the heart for the black starry night, dark hole of a mystery always there. Take you free, where you belong. Carry me. Love will be, was, and always was there for the birds sing, and I can never despair to know the words in this little love, for the bitterness for the booking of a shield, and never I can find enough for the heathen not to find the poetry perpetuating. Behind my tears, I can see you for the bracing the arms of justice and smiling, forgiving your persecutor for my love, and brother, I can find the love for you, and children for my religion, for the variations of paths that I can hide to find a change and strengthen me for the titan-minded ship. Yea, do I walk through the valleys of death, fearing no evil, except God, my love, my heart, being without, it was satisfied. None but the devil for the treating and touching of the truth, for he was the worshiper for the killing of the divine, the hurt for the spirit, for the tie the hands, chains, and feet to find the shackles, put enough for the dark prison, enough for the find the slave, my thinking, and free for the breeze and the way in the space of the sky, enough for the love and the find the supreme of the kingdom. Not in the sky, but inside of my heart. Not in the stone, but on my heart, for where it's written, for the law and the statutes, my daily departure, and the revelations.